Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast. This is your escape for real, unscripted conversations about sports, hobbies, life, and storytelling. No scripts, no forced takes, just Man Cave talk. Now, here's your host, Dan Casper.
So let's set the stage.
I'm assuming afterwards you're going to create a series of polls for these too, right?
I could.
Yeah,
that's a very good idea. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, so you got your Facebook page too. Share it on there. So
I will, but you obviously you can be your patient zero for creating this. I might just
all right. So what we are doing here, in case you're just like, what the heck are you guys talking about? We somehow stumbled into this conversation. Started off, which career would you rather have, Griffey or Barry Bonds? Because I think we were talking about Ohtani a little bit. Was it the best player we have seen? And I thought you were going to say Griffey, and you did it. So
but it's and we're factoring everything in, not just like stats, but also legacy, production, popularity, everything.
And try to take away.
If you may not, because we're going to have some other examples. You may not, if you may not, like some player or something we bring up, or maybe one of these players is your favorite player.
Right. If this was you, somebody hands you two cards, and you get to choose one, or you got to go down two paths.
And everything is involved.
Everything's involved. Which one would you rather have? And we're going to make the cases for each side and then kind of make our point. So baseball is Bonds and Griffey Jr. NBA and NFL, we're going to do threesomes on this thing.
Yeah, three-way. We got like questions with three possible answers.
Yeah.
Because we feel like we found some examples where like there's three that are similar.
Yeah. So football, it's all quarterbacks.
Yeah.
We're going to go Dan Marino, Steve Young, and we're going to throw Jim Kelly into this conversation. Dan Marino went to one Super Bowl early and then never went back. Jim Kelly went to 4 in a row, never won one. Steve Young was a backup for a hot minute, but then won one as a starter. Prime was good.
I would say had maybe the smallest prime of the three. Mm-hmm. But all these obviously Hall of Fame, great players.
Yep. So of those three, whose career would you rather have? And I think it's going to be interesting. Do you focus on championships? Do you focus on just trying it?
You focus on numbers. You focus on reputation. I mean, even though all three of those guys have like good reputations, but I mean like what they're known for, legacy.
Yep. And then basketball. This one was hard to kind of just pinpoint certain positions. Like we were going back and forth. Do we do point guards? Essentially, what happened was Jordan ruined a lot of it for a lot of people. So we
may have a category that's just called Michael Jordan Ruined My Life.
Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone. So, yes, 2 power forwards and a center under. But they had similar finishes to their careers because they tried to capture one.
Yeah, they've
been to finals.
Yep.
Ewing a little bit later on, which was kind of the, because that was when the Knicks were the 8 seed. Remember that in 2000?
Well, but was he still there then?
Yeah.
But
he was hurt or something.
But they also went 94.
Oh, that's right, against Houston. You're right.
Houston.
Yep, you're right.
So
because why? Jordan wasn't there. So, but yeah, good call on that one because they lost to the Olajuwon and the Rockets. So
yeah,
if Shaq had never won, we would put Shaq in there, but Shaq did end up winning. So. Could put Orlando.
I was going to say another one, and maybe this isn't a question, but like another just straight up, even though they're way different. Whose career would you rather have, Kobe or Shaq?
Yeah,
I think a lot of people will probably say Kobe, but I think it's closer than you'd think.
I think it's closer too. Do you want it to be considered as potentially the most dominant center? Or Kobe, who I think is getting more appreciation, but I also think he got stuck in the middle between Jordan and LeBron.
Yeah.
So he's kind of maybe not thought of as much as he should be.
Yeah.
He was that guy right in the middle between the two. So, all right, should we jump into it?
Yeah.
You look like you're pondering.
Well, no, because if we circle back to this Kobe Shaq thing, I have a.
We'll circle back. We got time.
Okay, because there was something I just thought, a point that I brought up that I think would be useful in that conversation. But if we come back to that, I'll bring it up.
Okay. What do we want to start? What sport? Should we just start baseball since we kind of started on that one
Yeah.
first? So you went with the Bonds angle first. And then between breaks, you were going through some of the numbers and such. And so you went with the Bonds angle. I was kind of with the Griffey one, but we changed it up now. You got numbers from Bonds, and Griffey's got great numbers too.
Right.
But there's always, I think the big thing is with Griffey is the what if. What if he didn't get hurt? And I don't know if he lives with that. It would live with me for a little bit. Like
he's a Hall of Famer, but if he doesn't get hurt, is he an all-time great? Is he a top 5 all-time guy?
And some will view him already as a top 5,
Yep.
and that's perfectly fine.
Yep.
Everybody can and maybe I do too. We don't know yet, but So we got him, and then obviously never won a World Series.
Mm-hmm. Neither of these guys did.
But and I think you do factor in Griffey, obviously, with the icon legend 90s. He was kind of Jordan-esque with the logo a little bit, backwards hat.
Right.
He was pop culture.
He was the face of baseball.
Yep. Backwards hat, home run derby. Video games, for crying out loud. So he was kind of like that Michael Tiger Woods type of athlete. So, but again, the injuries kind of stalled a lot of things for him. Whereas Barry Bonds, as you mentioned, was a Hall of Famer with Pittsburgh beforehand, before going to the Giants.
I mean, he was 6 years into his career, but like he had, 1990, he puts up a season with 33 homers, 52 steals, 301, hits 301. Like he's putting up he has multiple 30 home run he has a pair of 30 seasons already. Like he's trending in a good direction. Then obviously you see the numbers kind of change.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of these career highlights and awards for each of these guys, okay? Really quick. Let's start with Griffey, 13-time All-Star. This kind of surprised me, won an MVP once. Won American League MVP in 1997.
I think some of these awards and stuff he's going to not have as a higher number of just simply because of the injuries.
Yep. 10-time Gold Glove, 7-time Silver Slugger, Comeback Player of the Year in 2005. That's kind of the main ones I'll go through. Hall of Fame too, which is something we have to include on this. Barry Bonds, 14-time All-Star, 7-time MVP, 8-time Gold Glove winner, 12-time Silver Slugger, and not in the Hall of Fame. And maybe won't be. Who knows? But, of course, his record, 762 career home runs, 73 home runs in a single season. So, and there's some other records on there too, but those are the big ones when people think about Barry Bonds. So, whose career? When you got to take everything with it. Ken Griffey hit for a career 284, 2,781 hits, 630 home runs, 1,836 RBIs. Barry Bonds, 298 career batting average, 2,935 hits, 762 home runs, 1,996 ribbies.
I think to me it comes down to one thing. Are you comfortable being considered a quote-unquote pariah in your own sport? Are you confident, comfortable enough, to say, hey, you know what? I accomplished what I accomplished. I did what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I may still lean Bonds for that reason, where if you can live with that, if you can just be like, hey, look, it is what it is.
And this is going to be a personal, like everybody's going to be can they,
can you?
And I don't think he has any regrets from what we've heard.
Never heard that. And he was, he post-career was a coach in the majors. I think
Marlins, he was a hitting coach.
He was a hitting coach for a while. let's put it this way. If you're Barry Bonds, if it doesn't bother you that you're not a Hall of Famer and that you're probably never going to be a Hall of Famer and that people may always kind of give you the side eye a little bit when they see your stats and stuff.
Yeah. Because officially, his numbers are recognized.
Yes.
Now, if they weren't recognized, would that change?
Probably.
Yeah, I would think so.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they are recognized officially. Now, whether you want to say, oh, no, he's the home run king, or if it's Hank Aaron, hey, whatever, that's on you. That's up to you.
Yep.
But according to the MLB records, Barry Bonds.
Right.
So I think I would still give the slight edge to Bonds. I think my opinion, I would just say Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
But it's close because, again, once we factor everything in.
Yep. I think for me, I'm still going Griffey, and there's one word that comes to my mind. It's legacy. And how do you want to be viewed when people look back at your career? And, yeah, it's going to stink because there's a what if. Yeah, you can't control injuries. You can't control how Bonds could control what he did, right? For some allegedly.
Yeah,
allegedly.
what we believe, what is alleged.
You know, and it stinks. It feels bad. Probably the numbers could have been bigger for Griffey if he would have been able to stay healthy. But in terms of a legacy, Griffey's legacy is still, like, even when you ask a lot of people, they'll probably say, well, if he did stay healthy, he would have been one of the GOATs. And I think my personal preference would be, I'd be like, it's kind of almost an honorary, like, no offense, but title sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm trying to say? It's something like that, but I think I'd rather have that, where there was no question surrounding the integrity of how I did it or my legacy.
And the interesting thing, too, with this is you're talking about two second-generation players who had very good fathers who played. So they were born into this. I mean, they were, baseballers from, I'm sure, the time they could crawl.
Right.
So it's kind of similar in that way, too.
Yeah. It's an interesting conversation. And by the way, when you're done listening to this, we're going to, like you said, put up polls. We want to hear where the votes would go.
Right.
And try your best to keep, like, I would never do that. What Bonds? Yeah. Well, try to imagine yourself. And it's kind of like making maybe a deal with the devil. Hey, this is what you get.
Yeah.
This is what you get. This is but this is what you get. Look at the positive
this is what you get, but this is what you get.
Right. Exactly. So, should we move to the next one?
Yeah.
Want to do football?
Yeah.
So, Marino, Kelly, Young. Now, Marino, let's start with Marino first. Dan Marino is constantly, when you talk about some of the best NFL players of all time to not win a championship, Marino is constantly up there.
He's at pretty much at the top of that list.
Barry Sanders. You put up there and such. I think it's fair to say Dan Marino's name is mentioned before Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
Right?
When you're thinking of, like, those skill guys, Sam, I would throw Randy Moss out there.
Yep. Good point. Marino, MVP one time. He had the touchdown record up until Favre broke it. 3-time first-team All-Pro, 5-team second-team All-Pro, 9. If Pro Bowls when they actually matter, 9 times.
Yes.
And it's like one of the best passers of all time.
That's what people, when they talk about Dan Marino, like, just being like a pure quarterback, a pure thrower.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you talk about a guy that probably would be very successful in today's game too.
Yeah.
With the style, right? I mean, and Marino, I think it's worth mentioning too, when you talk about the top 100 players of all time, when the NFL has done it a couple times, he has been mentioned and he's been ranked very highly. He is on that list. Whereas, like in the latest one, Jim Kelly was. He's not mentioned in that same top 100 list as like a Marino is, or even Steve Young, who our next one is too. So, and Kelly is interesting too because he began his career where? In the USFL.
Oh, so Steve Young. So that's kind of so with these two.
Right. So the big thing is with Kelly, he was just a 1-time All-Pro, first-team All-Pro, 1-time second-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, but went to those 4 straight Super Bowls, which is unique, but lost each one of those, which is still significant when you think about it. And then you've got Steve Young, who originally, began his career in the USFL, then Tampa Bay, then came over in San Francisco, was the backup to Joe Montana. Technically a 3-time Super Bowl winner, but one as a starter. On there. 2-time MVP, won the MVP twice, and was a Super Bowl MVP. So numbers-wise aren't probably going to be, in terms of like yards and that. He's got records for passer rating and such, but when we talk about like touchdown passes, and he's probably got rushing yards up there too for Steve Young. What are you looking at me like that for? Oh, you're looking at me like I did something wrong. So, but Steve Young, 232 touchdown passes. Jim Kelly, 237. Dan Marino, 420. Whose career would you rather have between these three? I think I've got my, and I think we have to factor in too Steve Young with the concussion towards the end.
Yeah.
With the injuries and such.
I mean, that he probably would have played a longer. But also the thing too, you mentioned some of those stats. Steve Young, great running quarterback, one of the best running quarterbacks ever. So his rushing numbers, just factor those in too.
Yep, 100%. So
this one, I think I know which direction I would go, and I think it's Dan Marino. I think I'm going to go Dan Marino. It was close for me with Marino and Steve Young. I do think Steve Young does not necessarily get as much play as maybe he should as an all-time great, in part because maybe a smaller body of work, but I still think an influential body of work.
Yeah.
But I think I would go Dan Marino.
If you were to rank them, it sounds like Kelly would be third on your list.
I think so. I think, and look, I mean, obviously, all three, all-timers, all Hall of Famers, all should be very comfortable and happy with their careers. But obviously, here we're splitting hairs. That's what this exercise is about. We're splitting hairs.
I would agree with you that Kelly would probably be third on my list. But I'm actually going to go the opposite way here. Now, hear me out here. If I had to pick between the two quarterbacks of who I'd want on my team, I'd probably pick Dan Marino. But if I'm looking at careers, and the big thing for me is the ring, the championship.
Well, as a starter.
Yes,
and then two,
as a starter.
And, I mean, three total. But.
And that I'm looking at the one as a starter.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to admit, but I'm looking at it. Because here's the thing. I'll go back to legacy again. And while I think Dan Marino is the better quarterback between him and Steve Young, and I think Steve Young gets underrated. The more you kind of, I don't want the label as best to not win.
That's fair.
That to me would just bother me. to dang it. Yeah. And he played for a long time. He got a taste of it early and never went back. So I don't know if I would want the label of best to not win. You know what I mean? That just, ugh.
You think, I was thinking about this when we were kind of going through this. You think Jim Kelly just has a dislike for the NFC East?
Probably. Probably.
Because two to the Cowboys, one to the Giants, one to Washington.
Yeah. Yep. So, but then, when I'm saying this too, the other side is, would you rather have Barry Sanders or Emmitt Smith's career?
Yeah.
Emmitt Smith has the records and the rings.
Yeah.
But I think a majority would say Barry Sanders was the better running back.
Right.
So that one's tough for me, and that one's because I don't want to say I'm Barry Sanders just from a explosive standpoint.
It's tough because Barry Sanders is probably my second favorite football player of all time.
Right.
I also don't want to downplay Emmitt Smith because Emmitt Smith was a great running back. Mm-hmm. But he was great, and I think he would have been great if he played elsewhere.
Yes.
But he also was in a ideal situation. You look at that offensive line, that team just in general.
Yep.
Yeah,
he had more weapons and more help.
Yes. Which on the one hand is a good thing, but on the other hand, when you played the Lions, Barry Sanders getting the ball, but the defense also knew, no disrespect to Brett Perriman and Johnny Morton and Herman Moore, but you weren't Michael Irvin.
Right. And you didn't have that massive offensive line.
Right. Scott Mitchell and Eric Kramer throwing the ball, not quite the same as Troy Aikman.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So a little bit different on that one. A little bit different.
We got one more.
But it's interesting because, again, I would pick Marino as the better quarterback.
I think we're kind of on the same wavelength. We just look at things a little bit differently, which is good.
Yep. Now the NBA. The mailman who does not deliver on Sundays
might be the greatest piece of trash talk of all time.
I think so too.
That is such a great line.
Yep.
Kudos to you, Scottie Pippen.
Yep.
What a great line.
Yeah. The round mound to rebound. Charles Barkley. Now we're just talking about playing careers, so we're not going to talk about post careers and such.
Patrick Ewing doesn't have a nickname.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? I swear he did. Let me look it up here quick. He had to have.
I don't remember. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a nickname for Patrick Ewing.
It's this one I'd never heard. It says his most iconic nickname is the Hoya Destroyer.
Okay, yeah, okay. When he was at Georgetown.
Other common nicknames: Big Pat, the big fella and beast.
I like the big fella.
I guess Pat's is a short one.
Yeah, but
okay.
Hoya Destroya, that kind of I'm from his college days at Georgetown. That kind of okay, but still like not as synonymous as the other two.
Yeah. All right. So of those three who have never been, now this one's a unique. They've never won a championship, but they've all. Now Patrick went to his championships with his original team. Barkley went with the Suns. Did he go? I don't think he went with the Sixers. No. Then he went to the Rockets to try to and didn't. Malone went a couple times with the Jazz and the Lakers once, but never won.
Yes.
So of those three, who are you picking? I think I know where I'm going.
I think I do too.
Start at number 3 for you.
Well, that's the thing, because like for me, I think this one's I get Bonds and Griffey's close. This one is closer to me than the quarterback's one.
Okay.
I think my number 3 is Ewing.
That's my number 3 too.
I think so, but it's close. Because to me, these are 3 really good choices because they're all very similar. Again, all Hall of Famers, all great players, all should be very happy with their careers, even though they ultimately did not win championships. I think Ewing is my number 3.
I think what doesn't help Ewing is that he also played in an era where there was a few other big men that are like Hall of Famers, the Dream, Robinson, Shaq, those guys. Because when you look at it, he only made one All-NBA first team, and that was 1990.
Yeah.
He was a 6-time second All-NBA team, 88, 89, 91 to 93, and then 97. But you got the Dream Olajuwon in there. You've got, those guys. David Robinson with the scoring title the 1 year between him and Shaq. So I think that's one of the things that almost hurts him a little bit. But one of the greatest centers of all time.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Number 2 for you. Because I have Ewing at 3 too.
Okay, and I think my number 2 is Karl Malone.
Okay, we're going to be different then.
Okay,
so.
All right. No, this is good that we're different on all of these.
Yep.
And then that would make. I think of the 3, the career I would most want to have is Charles Barkley.
Okay, so
even just factoring playing career.
Yep. So let me go through some of the numbers here for you. Charles Barkley was a 1-time MVP in '93, 11-time NBA All-Star. 5-time first team, 5-time second team, did make a third team in '96, and played those last 4 years with the Rockets and such. Karl Malone, 2-time MVP, 14-time All-Star, actually won the All-Star Game MVP twice. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah. 11-time first team, 2-time second team, and then was a third team as well. He scored a career 36,928 points per game. Charles Barkley, 23,757. Patrick Ewing was 24,815. It's close, but I think numbers-wise for me.
Because I actually made my decision without looking at numbers.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, Malone has a more prolific, both in numbers and achievements. I mean, Barkley had a lot, but Malone had more.
But what I give Barkley more credit, though, too, is he's a power forward, but he was a small power forward.
He was like, 6'6"?
6'6". And you look at Malone, and he's just like this. He is like a built dude. It's interesting. I know this is a debate amongst people for some reason. Tim Duncan, who's 6'11", some people think he's a center. Tim Duncan, who's 6'11", tall, kind of lanky. Malone is just built like you don't want to mess with him. And then you got Barkley, who's 6'6". You have 3 different types of power forwards.
And a little round.
Right, yeah.
A little round.
So, I mean, they're unique in that aspect, but I just think Malone, during that Jordan midnight, it felt like it was either Jordan or Malone, at that time as the best players. So if you take Jordan out of it, I go to Karl Malone. And the fact that, even when they went to the finals twice with the Jazz, you had a Western Conference that still had a Rockets team. Remember they beat Barkley's Rockets. Barkley's Rockets, that's weird to say. But, Stockton made that 3. I still remember that last second shot and such. They went through, you had the Sonics, and the Lakers were just starting.
Right, yeah.
Just kind of starting and such. So Yeah, I'd probably go Malone if I had to
fair.
pick between the two.
Yeah, like once you bring out the numbers, you make a better case for it.
So, but I would have no problem if anybody wanted to go Barkley too, because I think it does help his case that the guy was 6'6" and he was still dominating down there
And
too.
because he was with the Sixers, and then he went to the Suns and won an MVP. Like that was almost like his second act.
Yeah, yep.
Again, this category could just be called Michael Jordan ruined my life.
Michael Jordan ruined my life. And the interesting thing here is too is that they were both on the night. All three were on the '92 Dream Team.
Nice.
So, and I believe So Barkley and Malone were also on the '96 one, but Patrick has another gold from the '84 Los Angeles.
Oh well, yeah, because of college. That's when. Yeah,
So they actually both have 2 gold medals.
that's cool.
Yeah. All right, let's put it out to a vote. All of you, vote. Whose career would you rather have? So you earlier had brought up, since we're talking about whose career would you rather have and such, you brought up Kobe and Shaq now. Because you said you saw this somewhere, or you just
I
something?
think this is. I mean, obviously, this is always just kind of I think a conversation. They both won together. They both won championships apart.
Kobe more than Shaq,
Yeah.
I think, right? Yeah, Kobe's got more championships. No,
because
Shaq's got 5.
yeah,
Does he have 5?
you have the technology. Yeah, because Shaq has won.
He's won with Miami, but I think he's only got 4. 3 with the Lakers. And, 4-time champion. Shaq's
Okay.
only got 4.
And Kobe got 5?
I think Kobe's got 5. Let me just double check. I thought one had more than the other. Yeah, he's got 5. Okay, yeah. It's like, shh, don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because he won 2 of them with 09 and 10. He went back to back.
Okay. And this is going to break your heart, too, because, Shaq could have 5.
Stop. Nick Anderson.
They could be even.
He could have more if he would.
But here's the thing. If they wins one, does he just stay in Orlando?
I know.
If Orlando ownership doesn't cheap out.
But here's the other thing. Who ruined that? Michael Jordan. So
Michael Jordan
ruined it. I still remember that last playoff series and Shaq's last years in Orlando, and the Bulls knocked him out. And what was it? Was it Nick Anderson too? That the year before said 45 and 23. I'm like, it's like why?
Never say anything to Michael Jordan ever.
Yeah, God.
But my thinking on this is obviously I feel like people probably in an all-time lens view Kobe better than Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. Because, my thing, though, is, who would you say was, more dominant?
Shaq.
And my comparison for Shaq, now, obviously not when it comes to accomplishments, but just, they're, I don't know how to say, their physical dominance or what, because, Shaq's Hall of Famer, Shaq's an all-time great. I don't think people don't view Shaq as, the best center of all time.
The thing that I think hurts Shaq is this narrative, and I think it's an accurate narrative, that if he would have stayed in shape and worked harder, he would have been unstoppable.
Right. And while the person I'm going to compare him to is not the same in that way, but I think just from a physical tools dominant for their position, Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
I don't and I've had this conversation with friends of mine who are not Vikings fans, I think Adrian Peterson, I'm like, I can't put Adrian Peterson in that category, but as far as just a physical marvel for what he did and the physicality he brought to his position.
When Shaq was in shape and he could run the floor,
yeah,
get out of the way.
Right. And that's kind of how I feel like it was with Peterson. But I would never put Peterson above Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton.
Correct. Yep.
He's a Hall of Famer.
If you're asking me who the best center is of all time, I'd probably pick Kareem. But dominance is Shaq's size and physicality.
Explosive. And that's kind of my thing too. Even a little bit with Randy Moss, Jerry Rice. Mm-hmm. Randy Moss is my favorite player of all time. Jerry Rice is the best receiver of all time. Randy Moss is the most explosive receiver of all time.
Mm-hmm. Bingo. I think that's a good one there. Yep. Randy Moss is the most athletic, most explosive than Jerry Rice.
And he changed the game.
Yep.
But Jerry Rice is the best receiver of all time.
Mm-hmm. So you want some numbers here quick?
Yeah.
So Shaq, 4-time MVP, or excuse me, 4-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP. This is the thing that these two have it just mind-boggling. They only have one MVP apiece.
Wow, yeah.
Shaq won his in 2000. Kobe won his in 2008. Kobe's a 2-time NBA Finals MVP. So math tells us Shaq won the NBA Finals MVP. All three that they won together. Kobe won the 2 separate. So Shaq, Dwayne Wade won the one with the Heat, which is,
Yeah.
So 8, and remember, Kobe played a little bit longer too because he was coming out of high school.
Yeah, and Kobe just on the one team. Obviously, Shaq was a bit nomadic at the end.
And honestly, this is where it kind of hurts me a little bit for Shaq. Whereas Kobe was still pretty effective towards the end.
Yeah.
Not Kobe level, but still pretty.
Yeah, whereas Shaq, at the end was kind of like he was he was more of a role player.
So Shaq Diesel or Mamba mentality, whose career would you rather have?
And this is tough for me because
we're just talking career. We're not talking about life.
Right.
I'm saying like.
Yeah.
I know Kobe's not around, so
but just career. And this is one where I actually have to think of it because like I just like Shaq more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no disrespect to Kobe. I don't know, I always gravitated more towards Shaq.
Yeah. Well, Shaq was my favorite player, my first favorite player of all time.
Yes.
And I love Shaq, but I will say this, over the last few years, I've grown more of an affinity for Kobe. And yes, I was one of those when it was Kobe and Shaq. Fans had to pick sides.
Especially at the end.
Right? I mean, we had to pick sides. And I was Team Shaq. I was not a Kobe fan. So, with all the drama, can you imagine that drama if Twitter was around?
Oh, my gosh. My gosh.
But, so I was a Shaq. I was a Shaq guy. But I have grown the last few years a bigger appreciation and admiration the more you found out how Kobe went about his basketball and that. And I honestly feel like I could be convinced Kobe or LeBron. I'm teetering there. And I don't know if I'm ready yet.
Yeah.
Jordan's one. Kobe is the closest to Jordan in terms of play style, body type.
Yeah, they were similar in that way. LeBron, and the thing that always, and I'm not the biggest LeBron fan in the world, but the thing you always have to give LeBron is longevity.
Yep.
He's been doing this for 23 years.
He's kind of like Shaq in the sense of his body, his physicality. Like, he's a big dude, but he can play out. He's like, if LeBron's body size almost reminds me of Karl Malone.
Yeah, where he's built.
Right. But Karl Malone didn't have the outside game, didn't have the speed or anything like LeBron. Like, LeBron would probably be an all-pro tight end, during his peak. As much as I have, really, really, really loved Kobe over the years, I still probably go Shaq.
I think I would, too.
Yeah.
And that's just personal opinion.
Yeah.
That's another one where you can go either way.
Yeah.
And it's solely off of Kazam.
Really quick, because we're really behind here.
Yeah, we are. This is as much as we've ever.
I remember having a Beckett Price guide in the mid-'90s. And I think it was 96. I could be wrong. But I think it was like a Team USA cover. And I just remember there was an ad for Kazam in there. And thinking, I want to go see this movie. And I never did. To this day, I have not seen Kazam. I know it's probably for the best.
I think we need a watch along. Summer watch along. We watch Kazam.
I'm game. But I remember sitting in my room going through my cards, and there was always that. I'm just like, I really, because I was such a Shaq fan. Never saw it. And I've never saw what's the one where it's like Shaq Steel or something? I don't know. I think it's a wannabe RoboCop or something. But yeah. Good Burger and Blue Chips are the best Shaq movies. His appearance in Good Burgers. Oh, man. Good stuff. That was fun.
Yeah.